Well, here we are, my dudes. We have 1 cup to go in the career mode. And since we are now at the closing point of the grand finals, we are now going to switch from the Sunray to the Canyon. Because I can guarantee that we are going to be facing plenty of destruction. As we have only 1 cup to go. And what I am now going to do is switch from the Sunray back to the Canyon. Because I need a card that will be durable. And also, unless my thought process is wrong, I think I should have all the pro upgrades I need in order to make this possible. So, just gonna check. I think I do have all the parts I need. Yep, weight reduction, racing body, pro chassis, and the roll cage. All those do attribute to strength. And yep, got the pro gearbox, and obviously got the clutch and flywheel. Yes. I don't need kit 3. I'm fine with what I have. Yep, that's all good. I just figured I'd check through the upgrades to make sure that I don't have to pay for anything. That's all I'm really doing at the moment. Yep, pro suspension, pro steering, pro anti-roll bars, yep. We're all looking Gucci for now. And pro tyres with pro brakes. And I already checked the body, but I will check again. And yeah, there we go. So now, let's get through the grand final of the grand finals. So 50,000 credits if we win, 30,000 for second, and 20,000 for third. We've pretty much fully upgraded the Canyon. We've put everything on except for Stage 3 Nitrous, but I think we should be okay without it, because we do need some strength for our first event, as we will begin with the gas station derby. Old abandoned gas station with a real scrapyard atmosphere. So basically we start this off with what's essentially a demolition derby, and then most of these from here on out, they're pretty much going to be race events, from what I can see. I think we're doing 4 races and 2 demolition derbies. I think that's what we're doing here. I would use the Road King, but I don't really have enough money for the Road King right now. I might decide to buy it at the end of the game if I really feel like it, but I won't really do much with it. Anyway. Here we are then for what should be the final event of the game. And hopefully I can manage to land some big hits without getting absolutely drilled myself too many times. And landing a big hit there on KT. And I also just wrecked Ray. And also delivered a pretty maniacal hit there to Jason. And that's a wall. Well, only minor damage. It's fine. Also, Katie is still going, which surprises me. But anyway, let's continue our progress. As Jack is pretty heavily damaged, I'm going to try and whoop his ass. See if I can take his ass down. And his ass has already been taken down. Still got some pretty decent health left, as I take a side swipe there from Katie. Sophia is pretty heavily damaged, so I think she might be my next target. And that's now 2 drivers wrecked, which I have ultimately had involvement in, so I think that does put me somewhere up near the top. Okay, now I've got to be at the top, because I wrecked Sally. Come on, get out the way. That's it. Okay, now... And Frank delivered a pretty nasty blow there. However, I do fight back, as it's between me, Frank, and Jason now for the top spot. I have already wrecked 3 drivers up to this point. Don't have much health left, but Jason and Frank are in a worse position than me at the moment. They've got more damage. Jason's out, now all that's left is Frank, and there we go. I win! And I ultimately wrecked 4 cars in the end. And I just dominated that event with the Canyon, scoring 130. Then we had Frank in 2nd, Sophia 3rd, Jack 4th, Ray was 5th, with Jason 6th, Sally 7th, and Katie finished 8th and last. Just goes to show how easy it is when you know you have one of the most durable cars in the game. That was basically the strategy I chose to go with for this. And also because, well, I don't really have the money to spend on anything else. That's basically what my purpose is. So 11 slams, 10 power hits, 2 slew... Okay, let me start over. 11 slams, 10 power hits, 2 super flips, 2 blast outs, and 4 cars wrecked. Unfortunately, we get no money for it. But whatever. Unlike the actual derbies we did. But anyway, those are your standings after Event 1. Myself ahead of Frank and Sophia. And there's the rest of the order. Let's now get through Triloop Special. A lap record that I previously set in the Lentus. And now I am going to try and see if I can beat that lap record in the Canyon. Maybe. Yeah, I'm actually going to give the AI a 1 second head start ahead of me, because I know they're just going to wreck in front of me. I feel like I actually want to make this interesting. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, basically. To some degree. I know the AI have a tendency to be consistently inconsistent. And they can also just straight up intentionally spin you out. Something that I can assure you has happened to me more than enough times to know they will not race any other way. You basically have to do what they do, just to show you yourself can cause similar levels of carnage and destruction. I'm hoping to finish in 4th, because that's what I really want. I want to try and see if I can finish in P4. Then I'll be in a good spot, from what I can see. I mean, I am still ahead of Frank, who up to this point is my main rival, but I know as this series goes on, the points positions are gonna swap and change. That's also why I caused my fair share of wrecks as well, because that's kind of what I have to do. It's also because, well, I will still get money as long as I'm able to react quickly enough to the AI pulling their deceptive trickery methods on me. I more or less have to try and do the same things they do. So Sophia wins Event 2 over Jack and Sally. Meanwhile, it is me who finishes P4. And you know what? I think I'll be okay with that. Because I was ahead of Frank, who I know is no longer going to be my rival at this stage. Normally you wouldn't see me accepting P4, but on this occasion, I think I will accept it. Because I did get some money on the board. 9 slams, 2 power hits, 2 blast outs, and 1 crash out. I really wanted that extra money, and I have earned another 5 grand as a result of being both the best wrecker and the blast master. Sally set the fastest lap, and Sophia wound up winning the bulldozer award. And for top driver bonuses, that is quite the increase. 2,500. It really is. And now I am 1 point behind Sophia. Well, it's only 1 point. I can just as easily make that back up again. And Jack now moves up to 3rd, with Frank dropping down to 4th. And Sally, in her Road King, now moving up to 5th. As we now head to Speedway left for 2 laps. I don't have to win at the moment, I just need to make sure that I finish ahead of my 2 main rivals in this, Sophia and Jack. Something I'm pretty convinced in saying I can do. Yeah, that's payback, you little bitch. Holy shit. That literally just happened all of a sudden. And Jack at the moment is the leader. I can definitely say I got some pretty big hits on Frank when I ran into the back of him. And now I just have to try and see if I can close in on Ray. And round the outside, Jack is going to win Speedway left with Katie second, but myself will finish third, scoring me another 6 points, and also giving me the fastest lap by quite some margin as well. Not bad. And I think Frank was just giving me payback for what happened earlier on. Oh well, that's fine. It was after the race anyway, and I probably did deserve it, considering I did give him some pretty heavy whacks. In that kerfuffle we had. Anyway. 4 slams, 1 super flip, and 2 blast outs. And I sweep all but one of the top driver bonuses. Best wrecker, blast master, and the fastest lap, with Sally taking the bulldozer award. And now Jack takes over the lead, by 2. There has definitely been some parity so far, and as a result of Katie finishing second, she now moves up to 4th, and we have a 3-way tie for 5th. However, we are heading over to another derby, which means that's the perfect opportunity for me to retake the points lead. I'm still scoring top 4s, which is basically where I need to be. Might be 2 points behind Jack, but this is where I can see things taking a nosedive in terms of the points positions. Because I can guarantee you destruction will happen here. It just will. As I took a side swipe there from Katie. And I missed Sophia. The one who I was aiming for. Seem to be in a pretty good spot right now. Katie has a fast car, but her car is also weak in terms of strength, and already she's out. And I also managed to... Yep, okay. Chaos is still happening. And it also doesn't help to say that my phone is right next to the microphone. I should probably turn the notifications off in a minute. If you heard that jingle. I am sorry for that. Get back here, Jack. I'm not finished with you yet. And out goes Frank. Now there are just 4 of us left. Myself, Jack, Jason, and Sophia. And only a minor swipe there on that one. And I still have not managed to hit her. However, I do rack Jack, which means there are now just 3 of us left. And Sophia is on her side, and now she is wrecked, and now it is between me and Jason. Get wrecked! And in the second derby event, I ultimately win over Sophia, Frank, and Jack. And those are the rest of the results, with Jason 5th, Sally 6th, Katie 7th, and Ray finished 8th and last. So, I think because I haven't recorded a replay of a derby for a while, I might as well make this my clickbait replay shot. Well. It seems as though the destruction is not over yet. Well, I figured because this is the grand final, I might as well air this one until the end. You know, just as a totem to say this is how we end the career. And that was how I won the parking lot derby. And because the AI are consistently inconsistent, that is how I wound up winning. So 4 events down, I have pretty much sweeped the derbies as I would have guessed with this thing. And now we just have to get through the other 2 events. It's also a little bit degrading to say that we don't get any money for winning the derbies in this championship. I kind of wish we could have had some of those. But anyway, I got 9 slams, 9 power hits, 2 super flips, 1 blast out, and 3 cars wrecked, scoring 100 points in total. And I now have a 3-point lead over Jack, as Sophia is still 3rd, and pretty much well clear of Frank at this point. Jason now moves up to 5th, with Katie dropping down to 6th and tying with Sally, and Ray is, well, currently at the bottom. But anyway, now we move to Speedway right, and where we only have 1 lap. I don't know if I'm going to get 1st or 2nd in this, but if this is only 1 lap, then I definitely cannot afford to crash if I am looking for a decent result. But either way, chaos has already played enough of an integral part at this point of the championship. I think it's probably going to play a part again, the way I see things. As I am currently P3 behind Sophia and Jason. However, I think I should be okay because I am ahead of my main competition, getting a little bit loose, but in spite of my sliding, I do reach the end, and I beat Jack. So Jason wins, Sophia 2nd, me 3rd, Frank 4th, Katie 5th, Ray 6th, Jack 7th, and Sally Taylor finished 8th and last, as I get drilled from behind by Jason. Jesus Christ. He's just completely demolished my rear end, and I actually love it. It is quite intriguing if you understand just the amount of times you still get drilled even after the race. Anyway. 3rd place in Speedway right, as I got 1 slam and 1 power hit. And no top driver rewards, unfortunately, but that's fine, because I now have a 3-point lead over Sophia. And these points, man, there has just been so much parity up to this point. It's almost unreal with just how much parity there really is. But anyway, 37 points to me, 34 to Sophia, so once again it's basically a battle of the canyons for this final event. Then Jack is 3rd in his Sunray, with Jason 4th in the Speed Devil, Frank 5th in his Crusader, Katie 6th in the Chili Pepper, and we have a tie for 7th between Sally Taylor in the Road King and Ray Carter in whatever his ride is called. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Anyway, 1 race to go, and it is 6 laps around Speedbowl. 2 wins and 2 bronzes. I think I have a good opportunity of potentially getting 3 out of 6, since I did dominate at the Speedbowl last time. I actually want to try and see if I can end this off with a win, just so it shows that I really have well and truly earned my stripes by getting to the end of this game, and just, you know, straight up showing that I have come out of this game on top. I'm basically doing this for pride, if you're asking. It's not really a self-conscious decision, it's just a decision saying that I want to just, well, come out of this game as a winner. And yep, all of that just happened. However, in spite of that, Jack is still running in P2, and now he retakes the lead again. Now Katie's dealing with a lot of wrecks right now, as she's now been relegated from 3rd to 7th. Holy shit, I did not think that was gonna work, but I'm so glad it did. I probably didn't have to reset there either, but I'm so glad I did. Because had I not reset there, my car would have been wrecked. Still, this place can be very contradictory at times when it comes to positions. I could not do anything about that. Oh, and Jason's gone. That's our first retiree from the Speedbowl. As we now have 7 cars left. But I am still out front. As Sally is now at the back of the field. However, I am still running up front and Frank is gone. Jack also looks like if he takes another big hit, he might also be on the verges of being gone as well. And I just got slammed by Ray there. Just got absolutely drilled by him as I went through that part of the spiral. So we've had 2 DNFs now, and we still have 1 more lap to go. Katie has got a lot of damage on her ride, and oh, Sophia's out. I was not expecting that. Well, this is definitely a race of survival if I ever saw one. And Jack is out, so that now just leaves 4 left. Katie, Ray, and Sally. This has definitely been a race of attrition. And over the line, I win by a huge margin over Katie Jackson. And I also set the fastest lap of the race as well. Still, I was not expecting that to end the way it did. We had 4 DNFs in that final race. So I win in the end by virtually 20 seconds over Katie Jackson. Then Ray Carter finishes 3rd with Sally Taylor 4th. Then we had Jack Benton 5th, Sophia 6th, Jason 7th, and Frank finishes 8th and last. As we had 4 DNFs. So basically a graveyard in an 8-car field. Half the field basically died before the end. But either way, there we go. The grand final is done, with 3 wins, 2 third places, and 1 fourth place. That's definitely going to cause a shuffle in the points. So 2 slams, 2 blast outs. So Ray proved to be the best wrecker and the blast master. I scored the fastest lap, and Jason scored the bulldozer award. And so these are your final points. 47 points to me, winning by 10 over Sophia, who won the second event. Jack finishes 3rd by winning event 3. I won both the demolition derbies and also won at Speedbowl. A 10-point margin of victory overall. 47 points to 37. Then Jack finished in 3rd after he was the last of the casualties at Speedbowl, scoring 34. Jason, in spite of him finishing 2nd to last, he holds on to 4th by 1 point over Katie, who scored 26, and also came on strong with those 2 second-placed finishes that she scored, finishing 5th in the Chili Pepper. Then Frank finished in 6th, who scored 2 podiums as well in both the derbies. Then Ray finished 7th, and Sally finished in 8th. As we only had 4 finishers in the Speedbowl. So 47, 37, 34, 27, 26, 22, 21, and 20 are your final point scores for the grand final, as we get a bonus of 50,000 credits, and as I said before, 3 golds and 2 bronzes. And now we get the gold trophy cutscene. Essentially proving that we have pretty much beaten the game. And my god, did we have a lot of chaos to get there. There probably should also be some music playing in the background, but I'm not really bothered on doing that, because, well, if I do, then I might get copyright claimed. Which, under the circumstances, is what I don't want. At least not for the playthrough, anyway. But there we go. All of these are done. And as for the bonus events, I think I'm going to leave those, because I don't think it's really worth it to go chasing after the gold records. And if I had to change profile, 97%. So basically what that means is we have to do the bonus events in order to be complete with the game, basically. Okay. Well, if that's what I have to do, then so be it. Just to complete the game, I'll have to go and sweep up the events I didn't win. Which is going to be interesting. And that's probably what we'll do before the finale, where I showcase the bonus vehicles. So, next time, on FlatOut 2, sweeping up the events I didn't win, or trying to.